Senator Jeff Flake gets to question him and says that family members have been suggesting questions to ask Judge Gorsuch.
And my son Dallin, a teenager, said, ask him if he would rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck. I'd never heard it either. Apparently, it was a question on Reddit a while ago. But anyway, that's where it's going from here.
Senator, you managed to leave the judge speechless yesterday. So
after 10 hours of hearings, I think all of us needed to inject a little levity into it. It was. Can you imagine sitting there for 10 hours listening to the same questions?
So it's not like the serious questions hadn't been asked first, right?
That's right. No, and I went on. I had 30 minutes to ask questions, and so I went on to ask, a lot of the questions that you would expect. But I had to inject some levity.
I've got to keep a promise here, though. Last night on Twitter, I said when we had you on, we were going to force you to answer the question. So, Senator, a whole bunch of tiny horses or one big duck? Which would you rather fight?
One big duck, of course. I mean, no question. Those little horses, that kind of freaks me out.
Yeah, really. No kidding. They both freak me out, actually. So I thought it went pretty well. So if you can, would you mind walking us through what's the timetable to Judge Gorsuch becoming Justice Gorsuch? Because I think it's going to happen.
It is. The day before yesterday, we had the Senate introduction, so 10 minutes from every senator on the panel, and then Judge Gorsuch gave his introduction, and he just hit it out of the park. He's very, very good. And then yesterday, 10 hours. Today, we'll probably have another 5 or 6 hours. Every senator has 20 minutes more to ask questions. And then on Monday, we'll meet again for a markup where we're supposed to vote on him, but the Democrats can hold it over for another week, and they likely will exercise that prerogative. So the vote in the Senate Judiciary Committee will likely be on April 3rd, and then on the floor a week later.
What's the biggest sticking point for Democrats, besides the fact that he was nominated by President Trump?
That's it. Frankly, if he would have been nominated years ago, he'd have been, approved 100-1. There simply isn't anything in his record. I pointed out during my questioning or during my introduction that there are 2,700 decisions of the circuit court that he sat on. 2,700. He's been in the majority 99% of the time. 97% of the time, it was a unanimous decision. And only one time in 2,700 did the Supreme Court actually reverse a decision that he had sat on. So to try to paint him as out of the mainstream or somehow some ideologue is just not going to wash.
Yeah, but that's kind of what they do. But sometimes they have to consider how much political capital do they want to actually use on
right, and that's the decision. You hit it on the head. That's the decision they're going to have to make. Do they fight on this hill?
Right.
The next one, the next justice appointed will likely shift the balance on the court. Judge Gorsuch, if he is successful, will likely simply maintain the balance that currently exists or did before Justice Scalia passed away.
We are talking with Senator Jeff Flake of Arizona, who sits on the Senate Judiciary Committee. If we can for just a moment, I wanted to shift gears. The AP out with us a report this morning that Paul Manafort, who of course led the Trump campaign for a few months last year, was secretly working for a Russian billionaire. This is more of what we've been hearing. Do you care to comment on that? I just wanted to give you the opportunity, Senator.
Well, hey, I mean, that's. I think this has been known for a while, and the Trump administration is now distancing themselves pretty quickly from Paul Manafort, as I would do as well. So I don't think this is anything really new.
Are you, as I think a lot of people are, kind of anxious to hear more about what we heard out of the House Intelligence Committee yesterday and the day before?
Well, I can tell you, anybody who has sat through classified hearings on the Russian attempt to influence elections here is concerned about what Russia has done and what they can and will do in the future. So these are important things we're talking about. And obviously, if there was somebody from the Trump campaign involved, we need to know about it. So I think it's something that we're all concerned about.
Senator Jeff Flake, the takeaway from this interview is one large duck. I just wanted to make sure
I think the takeaway is he is a great nominee, and he's going to make a great justice, and that's that's where a presidential legacy is really left in the court. And when I survey family and friends, what they really tell me is they wanted the Supreme Court pick. That's a lot of the reason that President Trump got the support that he did.
All right. Thank you very much, Senator Flake.